Hey, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It is Sunday, March the 7th. This is Brian from Bearable Traders, and this is when we do the week in review and then kind of look ahead, see if we can figure out where things are going for the week coming up. And we had this $1.9 trillion COVID relief package. It looks like it's going to get passed here, and of course that is popping the markets a little bit. Although we are well off sort of the highs that we saw when the futures opened. And in fact, the NASDAQ has gone red. So, and the question is why? And let's just take a look at the reason why. And this is what I've been harping at for the last couple months here, just watching these rates rise on the treasuries. And you can see here, again, we are going higher on the treasuries. Right now, this is the current markets. And you can see here we're approaching 1.6% on the 10-year. And as these yields rise, of course, the high growth stocks, the ones with the high PEs, the ones that a lot of people have been holding, are all getting hit pretty hard. And that's why you see the NASDAQ off so much compared to some of the other indices like the Dow, which has actually been pushing higher, more sort of value versus growth trade. So financials, energy still seem to be going higher. But let's start the deep dive and let's take a look at some of the indexes here. Okay, let's start to talk about bonds and yields. You can see Friday we did have a bit of a pop here. Looked like we put in a bit of a double bottom, but if things keep going the way they are, it looks like it's not gonna be a double bottom. We're gonna just continue lower here because as the yields rise, the value of the bonds drops, and so we would expect this trend to continue. We're in a downtrend. This was a bit of a pop. I did actually play this TLT with options. Was expecting a bounce here just because we were so oversold, but that was just a quick trade in and out. And now it looks like the trend is going to continue down on the price of bonds, which means yields are going to rise. These are updated from Friday. So you can see here yields continuing to rise. The 10-year, again, we've been talking about this since back here. We are continuing to rise. We're getting a pretty overbought again, and I'm expecting another bit of a pullback here. We are going to make a higher high here, but I am expecting we are going to get another bit of a pullback shortly. I don't believe I'll be playing that one, but again, here's the 10-year Treasury breaking out, and we are getting into an area where there will be probably some resistance. Sort of this 1.8 is looking like an area where we may stall out a bit. You can see here we're getting really, on the weekly, we're really getting overbought here. RSI, stochastics, really overbought. So, and let's see what happened. So we had a bit of a pullback Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday just shot right back up on the transports again. Growth versus value. This transport's a value trade. Still looking pretty good. Volume, decent. And on the weekly, again, breaking out to a new high. So transports continue to be strong in the face of some other markets that continue to be weak. Here's the Dow on the daily, had a nice comeback on Friday. And you can see here, again, we're right back up near a high on the weekly, an all-time high. We did get up last week. We did try to break out. We did break out, but pulled back significantly, and now we're going back to test those highs. By the looks of it, you can see here volume's been pretty good in the last couple of weeks. Not overbought. RSI still under 70. And you can see here we had this big sell-off on the Qs as interest rates rose. And this is what I'm talking about here. We had a bit of a comeback day on Friday, but I wouldn't get overly excited. We are still in a downtrend, well off the highs compared to the Dow. And you can see this is where the growth stocks are really getting taken to the woodshed here with their high PEs and rising interest rates not working well for them at all. So we did hold this moving average again on the weekly. As rates rise some more, I would expect this moving average to get taken out, and we may be heading lower. Stochastics rolling over, MACD is crossed. RSI heading down to 50. Watch out tomorrow. I think we're going to end up with another down day on the NASDAQ. SPY, again, a little bit of growthy names in there getting hit on the week. You can see here, bit of a doji candle here, spinning top, olive hill candle, whatever you want to call it. But again, tried to break out and couldn't during the week. But then we were well off the lows of the day or lows of the week. So jury's out on that one. The IWM again getting hit pretty hard during the week, and then we had this nice bounced back day on Friday. And again, not very constructive weekly candles, trying to press higher and then getting sold off and on volume. So when you see this volume here, that's not just mom and pop retailers. That is the institutions are selling in and are stepping in and moving their money around. So in some institutional money movement there. The dollar really broke out here. This is kind of interesting. Dollar strength. This doesn't bode well, obviously, for emerging markets and the gold-silver trade. So watch out if this continues to run higher, if the dollar continues to run higher. And Bitcoin's pretty strong, and I think just looking at the early markets here, it's breaking out as well. So Bitcoin, I don't know, the new gold, the new safety trade, who knows? And now just a quick look at sectors at a glance here. The various sectors you can see here. SPY had a nice day on Friday. We already talked about that after this sell-off. 3 days of selling and then bounce back on Friday on the discretionaries. Communication's still doing pretty well. They're still hanging in there. The tech sector with the high PEs are really getting hit here, and you can see we had a bit of a relief rally on Friday, but again, looking for more downside if rates are going to continue higher. Industrials having a pretty decent day. Again, a lot of value stocks in there versus growth. Materials kind of hanging in there. Energy was one of the big stories of the week. And I think it's a story this evening because there was some attack on a Saudi oil refinery, and I believe oil prices are moving up again here. So a little geopolitical tension going on there. So I'm expecting XLE to continue to look strong. Staples had a nice little bounce on Friday. But again, sort of in a downtrend. Utilities, pretty much everything. Financials still looking really good here. And again, the benefit from the rising interest rate environment. Now let's take a quick look at some of the stocks. I've got my swing trades right now. BCRX, still holding on to this one, although I'm thinking about getting out of the rest of it. It's kind of chopping around here, and I'm feeling like if a lot of the market's going to roll over, maybe this is going to join the party. You can see here volume's been kind of light. It's just kind of hanging in there, holding on to the 20 moving average. And if it looks like it's going to drop below there and close below there, I'll get out of the rest of it. DBA just hanging on here. It looks like it got pretty extended from this moving average, and now we've pulled back. You can see what pullbacks have done before. And with the commodities, there's a lot of commodities are going up in price. Corn, wheat. So this is an agriculture fund, and that's why I've been long for quite a while now on this one. And I don't really see any reason to get out of it unless we start to break down below this 20 moving average as well. Forward long haul trade options into next year. They're actually leaps. KRE playing the financials this way. Been into it for quite a while as well, and it continues to look pretty decent. As long as interest rates are going to go up, it's going to do well as also. NUS still in this one. Really like this bottoming action. Popped up, sold some, did some pullback here, and now had a really good day on Friday. Looking for a continuation move tomorrow, hopefully. Willow, I'm just hanging on to. Again, this is sort of a longer term trade for me. WWE, love this pattern, love this setup. Got in back here. But you can see here, I just want to talk a little bit about this trade, why I got into it. You can see here, nice rounding rounding formation, just basically a cup. And you could almost say this put in a bit of a double bottom or a higher low here. That's where I got involved with it. And we had this nice ABCD pattern, or you could call this a bit of a cup and handle. But again, just this is a recovery trade. Obviously, a lot dependent on people getting back in arenas and stuff, and um, watching these live events. And this is just a recovery trade. So it looks like we are going to fill the gap here. I'll be looking to take more off here around 56 once we fill the gap, because I think there'll be some resistance up here. You can see this volume wedge as well, but it looks good. Volume still pretty steady. MACD looking good. Histogram, stochastics are looking good. RSI heading up. So really like this. This is just a classic swing trade. Took some bad news. I think this was an earnings, related drop, and then it just found a nice little bottom there, and just a really nice trade. Got back in some XX for recovery trade, and looking for it to pop back up, maybe get into the 1950 range. I'll take some off, and that's about it. Let's take a look at a few that I've got on watch. OLN, which is sort of a carryover from couple of weeks now. I'm just watching this one. This is a chemicals company, and should do well. It's more of a value stock. I'm just looking for this to turn back up here. We had a decent day on Friday. RSI is turning back up. Maybe MACD is going to turn. So we'll see how it does tomorrow. I'd like to see it hold 30. And I'll probably have an alert set for 30 to see if it dips there. PLTR is looking like it's flattening out here. This is a logical area for some support. This sort of 22, 23 level, 2250 level. You can see here it had some support here. Kind of looks like it had some support back here. We're at the bottom of a volume shelf here. You can see there's a lot of people that are stuck in this trade a few dollars up. So, it's probably just going to churn sideways. But this pullback on Friday gave you a nice entry to get in when it got down to 20. Unfortunately, I didn't get in there, but maybe another pullback to this sort of 2250 if it can hold here. It might be a decent trade, but again, this is one of these high PE stocks, so just be careful with it. RCI, we had a bit of a pullback to the 9 moving average, or the 20 moving average, I should say, and I'd be looking for this one to head back up. It's again sort of a value play, rent a center, improving economy. People rent things to fix things. Silver could be putting in a bottom here. I'm just looking, there's some pretty strong support right at this level here, so I'll be watching silver. Commodities haven't done very well, and of course if the dollar's strengthening, that doesn't help the commodities very much. Twitter really came back after a big pullback here, so I'll be watching that for some strength. Again, careful with this one, it's probably a higher PE. And of course, always we're going to be watching XLE and anything oil related. We could look at almost anything like Oxy or Marathon. XLF again. I think the banks and energy are going to continue to do well this week, and then metals and mining. They look kind of stuck. So, but I'd be looking at something like like an Oxy. Looking pretty nice here, really nice uptrend, getting a little extended from these moving averages, but again, energy and financials, get some good volume here on these last 2 days. Energy and financials and value. So that's it, everybody. Let's take a quick look, check back on the futures, how they look right now. You can see we've come back up a little bit. Dow's up 150 now. Nasdaq's almost gotten back to red again, or gotten back to green, I should say. Let's take a quick look at the bonds. Treasury's still looking like they're gonna head up tomorrow, but a lot can happen between now and the morning open. So this is my book on Amazon, How to Swing Trade. If you haven't checked it out, it's there. And of course, we will be starting out 8 o'clock in the morning. Jared will be giving his early morning commentary about the markets and where he thinks things are going. Norm and Carlos will be taking us through the pre-market show at 8:30 live on YouTube. as well. And then we'll be trading the market open at 9:30. Hope to see you all then, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, what's left of it. Cheers, everybody. Bye for now.